Now the Lord had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah.
Read.
And Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights.
And Jonah was in the belly of this great fish for 3 days and 3 nights, yo. This great fish was a whale. Christ let us in on that. Let us in on that. Give me that real quick in Matthew chapter 12. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 40.
Book of Matthew chapter 12 and verse 40.
Read.
For as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly.
See, Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly. Read.
So shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth.
All praises, all praises. Now, hey, let's go over to my next folder, please. Let's go over to my next folder. Let's see it. Click on that one. Enlarge that for me. We good? All praises. Read that.
Can whales swallow people?
What you think? Can whales swallow people, yo? Go over. Read that.
No, they can't.
That's the answer for you right there. No, they can't. Whales cannot swallow people. Read.
It's actually not physically possible.
Mm-hmm.
While whales can have huge mouths.
Yeah, whales have a huge mouth. Read.
A whale's throat is a lot smaller than you might expect.
But their throat is a lot smaller than you think. Read.
Essentially, the size of a human fist.
Essentially, it's about the size of a human fist. This is why some of the biggest whales in the seas eat some of the smallest things, like plankton, because their throats are so small. It's like the size of a human fist. Read.
So even if someone was swept into a whale's mouth, it wouldn't be long before they were swept out again.
So if a whale can't swallow a person, and Christ told us that Jonah was in the belly of a whale, what was Christ talking about? What was that whale? Go over. This is Matthew chapter 12 and verse 40. We just read this verse. For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly. Go over. This interlinear, go over. So you see the world right there. Katos G2785. Go over. Go over again. This is, go over one more time. One more time. So outline biblical usage. Read that real quick.
Katos, probably from the base of...
No, number 1.
Oh, sorry, it's not my fault. A sea monster, whale, huge fish.
So a whale in the Bible isn't always talking about the blue whale or the sperm whale or the killer whale. Sometimes when you read the word whale in the Bible, it's talking about a sea monster. Sometimes it's talking about a sea monster. Go over. Get this definition of whale.
Well, as to the signification, Salakim, of the Hebrew terms, tan and tanin, variously rendered in the authorized version by dragon.
By what?
By dragon.
Read.
Well, serpent, sea monster.
What?
Sea monster.
Sea monster. So when you read about whales in the Bible, you're not always reading about humpback whales and orcas, man. Shark whales or whale sharks. That's not what you're always reading about. Sometimes when you read that word whale, it's talking about dragons. It's talking about sea monsters. And we know the Bible calls those sea monsters Leviathan. Give me that in Psalm 104 and verse 25. Is there anything else after this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, show that. Go back over. While you read that Psalm 104 and verse 25.
The book of Psalms, chapter 104 and verse 25.
Read.
So is this great and wide sea.
So is the great and wide sea. Read it one more time.
So is this great and wide sea.
Read.
Wherein are things creepy and innumerable.
Wherein are things that are creeping and innumerable. You cannot number the creatures that are in the oceans, in the seas.
New ones.
All the time. Read.
Both small and great beasts.
Both small and great beasts. There are great beasts in the oceans. Read.
There go the ships. There is that Leviathan.
There's that what?
That Leviathan.
Hey, go over real quick on the picture. There is that Leviathan. Go over. Leviathan is a beast, a sea monster. The Bible calls it a well sometime. Leave it on that picture right there and read that again.
Verse 26. There go the ships. There is that Leviathan, whom thou hast made to play therein.
Who thou hast made to play in the seas, in the oceans. The well that swallowed Jonah was that sea monster. That Leviathan, yo. That dragon. That's the well that swallowed Jonah. He was in the belly of a sea monster, man. Real talk. Hey, give me the book of Ezekiel chapter 32. Also, just to show that wells, the word well is sometimes used for dragons. I need you to get there as well. Ezekiel chapter 32, let's read 1 and 2.
The book of Ezekiel chapter 32 and verse 1.
Read.
And it came to pass in the 12th year, and the 12th month, and the first day of the month, and that the word of the Lord came unto me, saying.
So this is the 12th year, the 12th month, and the first day of the month. Of what? Of the Babylonian captivity. That the word came unto the Lord, saying what?
Son of man, take up a lamentation for Pharaoh, king of Egypt.
Read.
And say unto him,
Read.
Thou art like a young lion and of the nations.
Read.
And thou art as a well.
Like what?
A well.
Read.
In the sea.
And like a well in the seas. Read the annotation next to well, the number 5.
All right, number 5 in the judge. Well, dragon.
Or dragon. Sometimes when you read the word well, you're reading about dragons in the seas. And the dragon that is talking about is Leviathan. That sea monster, yo.